has been a snowy and cold winter, and the shelter that had been sufficient for the goats in the summer isn't the best for this season. In this video, the goats will be moving into the barn, but before we get there, some work has to be done so that they can stay nice and cozy. This is the space we are going to be working in. My dad brought out a light so that we could see instead of using a flashlight. Now that that is up, it is going to be way nicer to work and build this indoor goat area. To do that, we are going to be framing up some walls and then putting fencing over that later. My dad bought the wood the other day, so let's get going. Moving the goats into the barn has been a goal for a long time, but now we finally have the time and chance to do it. To build our walls, we put a board across the width of the barn, and we already had the saw in there, which was really nice, so we could just cut all the wood right there. After cutting pieces, we put them up in their spots, and then of course we had to make sure that everything was nice and straight and level. After that, we built squares that we would later fence in with fencing. In the middle of the area, we are going to have a door, and as you can see, we are framing that up now. We wanted to make sure that we could still get hay out easily and go in and out in a comfortable way. We are going to be building the door for the goat area in the shop just so that we're building it on a flat level surface. Cut out the pieces and then put it together. This is the fencing we are going to be using for the entire goat area. It's old dog fencing that my dad had used for our outdoor dogs at one point, but now we are using it for the goats. We got the door all built and then loaded it up on the quad so that we could take it out to the barn to put everything else in. We are also going to be putting up a raised floor so that the goats can stay nice and warm and off the ground. This area is eventually going to be where the kidding stalls are going to go, which will work out perfectly. We did this for the boys as well when we built their shelter that's a lean-to off the barn, and they are absolutely loving it. We also had to lay down another board to cover a hole and then put up some temporary electrical so that we could plug in the heated water buckets. Then I put down some straw as some bedding so that the goats will stay nice and cozy. Now that everything is done and ready for them in this area, it's time for the goats to come into the barn. I hope they really enjoy it in here. There is a lot more protection for them, and it's a bit warmer than their previous shelter. And they also have a few things to nibble on. Now to fully enclose it, we just have this little door and everything is all set for them. I also have to move the hay rack that was in their old shelter into the barn so that I can feed them, because I really prefer giving them hay in a rack than on the ground. I also gave them salt and filled up their water because I cleaned out their water bucket so it was empty. A little while ago, my dad picked up some more gates from our local farm store for the goats because this summer, unlike this past summer, you're going to be rotating the girls and the boys on pasture. This will be a much better system because they will all be getting fresh green grass every day. Right now, I'm going to take those gates out to the barn because I think we are going to be putting them in soon. Well, it's good that those gates are in here now. Now I want to put straw in the girls' area because I put straw in the area that is going to be their kidding stalls eventually because I wanted them to eat some of the scrap hay that was there first. But now they've eaten it all, so let's do that. With the goats moving into the barn, it's starting to feel like we're setting permanent routines, which is really nice because before everything felt very temporary and it was very hard to do things in a good order. But now that is going to change, which is really amazing. Later that day, my dad and I put up the gate. It's really simple and it's a little thing to do, but it's necessary, and now we will be able to close the goats in a smaller area. Here it is. This is very temporary, but we'll be putting a post in the spring once the snow is gone. Now, for some reason, my brother and I decided to go sledding off the goat ramp. It was very chaotic and we fell over a lot, so enjoy. We got freezing rain today, which wasn't the nicest, and everything was really icy, as you might assume, but we worked in the barn still. Today we're putting in electrical so that we'll have good lighting for the goats. My dad knows a lot about this stuff, and I was kind of just there watching and learning. and trying to help as much as I could. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to stick around if you would like to see the next one. Bye!